So let's talk about some micro habits that changed my life and how you can benefit from them. The first one is being more observant about myself and about other people. And in particular, I want to focus on this important point. You need to learn and to understand what is a feature about yourself and what is a bug. What do I mean? A feature about yourself as a man is you tend to be more aggressive than women. That's a feature. It's not a bug. Also, you need to understand that all things being equal, women will always prefer taller guys. Same guy, same job, same hairline, same physique. One is 6'4", one is 5'4". 99% of the time, they will always pick the tall guy. And when you're going in your day-to-day life, by being observant, by seeing the trends in behavior, you start to understand that your behavior and everyone else's behavior is a function of both their genetics and the environment. And more times than not, most people's actions and behavior can be traced back to years of evolution. Girls want tall guys because back in the day, the taller the guy, more likely could beat other guys up and protect her and her offspring. So it's that plain and simple. And what I want to get across is by being observant and understanding these factors, you become more tolerant. You don't take stuff that deeply. If, for example, I was 5'5", 5'6", and a girl rejected me because of my height, I wouldn't assume there's anything wrong with me. I just know that, yes, women prefer taller guys, and it is what it is. And being tolerant will help you in your relationship with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You then understand how men and women think, which most of the time differs. You understand that some people are more emotional than others. Also, when you're at work, you become more tolerant to your teammates because you understand how they're reacting. The second micro habit that changed my life was that in January 2022, I completely revamped my diet to mostly single ingredient foods. I'm sure all of you watching this video have heard about Eddie Abu. If you're watching this video right now, you probably either effing like him or effing despise him. And I get it. He's quite triggering to say the least. But his advice is very spot on. Single ingredient foods will always be better for you. Why did I switch to single ingredient foods? Prior to January 2022, I was having whey protein, rice cakes, protein bars, and I was having a lot of digestive issues. I couldn't digest it. And I switched from normal whey to vegan whey. That was better, but I was still having those issues. And I said to myself, why do I think I need to have whey protein? It's just protein, right? Why can't I just have eggs and chicken? And before I even watched any of his videos, I made the decision to switch to single ingredient foods. And that was also the start of my bodybuilding prep. And ever since then, I've not looked back. I'm not saying that I don't have takeout or I don't eat dessert sometimes. I do. But that's more or less 2 or even 1% of my diet. If you're watching this video right now, I urge you to try and eat mostly single ingredient foods and less processed foods. I get it, it's not the norm and it's a lot harder to actually make your food. And yes, it might be more expensive, but you have one body, so why not try and maximize that? The next point I'll touch on is related to the second point. Like I said before, people find Eddie Abu's advice triggering, not entirely because of his advice, but because of him as a person, his tone, his delivery. Guys, honestly, you have to separate the tone, the delivery,
suffering from depression because you're eating you idiot,
and the message.
My mission is to help as many young people as possible. Our mental health, depression, anxiety, every single thing that's wrong with us is coming from in here. Make a change to your diet. You see the change, your results.
For example, if I say 2 + 2 is effing 4, and I say 2 + 2 is 4, the answer is still 4. My tone and delivery does not change the message. And it's very low IQ of people to disqualify someone based on their tone or based on the way they're saying something. If you do that, you'll never succeed in the workplace. Because I can tell you for sure, if you're in banking, you're in law, I don't even have to say this. You know, some tones can be very harsh and some tones can be very soft. More times than not, the tone in banking is very harsh. And honestly, for me, all I care about is the information. Like, that's all I care about. If the information is good, I'll keep coming back to that person. And you have to learn to detach yourself from your feelings when receiving information. When you receive information, don't first try and react emotionally. First take the information for what it is and read it and ask yourself, does this make sense? If it does make sense and you've accepted it, then you can ask yourself a follow-up question. How did this information make me feel? If it made you feel bad, was it the tone or was it the message? But honestly, once you you take in the information, you probably don't even have to do the second step because you've gotten that information and it can help you. The next micro habit I'll touch on is actually scheduling time for my recovery. Like, if I think about it, only time I have to recover is the 5 or 6 hours I sleep during the day. And trust me, based on all the stuff I do, it's not enough. I am not under any illusion that my recovery is good. I'm making do with what I want based on the goals I have for myself. And it is a compromise. But what can I do to actually improve my recovery? In my mind, I know from Saturday till Wednesday, I'm waking up at 5, 6 a.m. I'm working 12-hour days, 14-hour days. I'm recording content. I'm training more or less every single day apart from Monday. When it gets to Thursday, I am effing tired. And in the past, I'd have tried to push through Thursday. I would have still tried to see if I can work to 11 p.m. And I always ended up doing shit work every single time. Every single Thursday in 2022, I tried to work. It was very unproductive. And so there's no point. The goal should be to work harder, not smarter. Now, based on your schedule and your workload, most of you watching this will have a 9 to 5. Try and be proactive and schedule a recovery day. Now, recovery day will differ based on the person, but for me, my recovery day, I leave work a bit earlier, and by early, I mean at 8 p.m. Also, the following day, Friday morning, I don't go to the gym, I don't do any cardio. That way I can sleep a bit more. And I've found that by having this day in proactively, I'm able to balance my fatigue a lot more. For you watching this, that might be the weekends, which is the case for most people. They know on Saturday there's no work, they can sleep a bit more and actually recover better, which is fine. The main point is to try and schedule a recovery day. I'm not sure if this is a habit, but people need to learn to stop running away from the unknown. It's more like ignorance is bliss. If I don't know it, it doesn't hurt me. What do I mean by this? People, and if you're watching this, this is very scummy. People don't like to get tested because they rather not know there's something wrong with them. And this is the wrong way to live. We have one effing life. And to live longer, you must take care of your body. And it's always better to be proactive with your health. You go to the gym, you have a good diet because that will prevent you from getting sick. You don't start going to the gym and eating well after you're sick. It doesn't make sense. So if you're being proactive by going to the gym, eating well, you should also try and be proactive with blood tests and ECGs. Get tested. It's that plain and simple. Make sure you do your blood test at least once a year. And for me, I do it twice a year and I've scheduled that in my calendar. So I have a mid-year blood test in June and I have an end-of-year blood test in December because I want to know if there's something wrong with me as quickly as possible and give myself a chance to fix it. If you've liked what I've talked about so far, please drop a comment and leave a like. It will be much appreciated. The last micro habit I'll talk about is understanding time. People overestimate how much time they have in a day. Let's think about it. There are 24 hours in a day. Most people sleep for 7, 17 left. Most people commute to work 2 hours each day, back and forth. 2 minus 17, 15 hours left. You're gonna eat lunch, breakfast, dinner. That's more than an hour in total. 14, you're gonna shower and do some other stuff. 13, you have a 9 to 5. That's 8 to 9 hours. 5 hours left. And in those 5 hours, you need to rest, get a coffee, take a shit. There's not a lot of time to get stuff done outside of your 9 to 5. Which is why a lot of times people struggle with balancing their 9 to 5 and their side hustle because they overestimate how much time they have in a day for that side hustle. And when you do that and you don't get any work done for your side hustle, you become demotivated and the next day you're like, F this side hustle, I don't have time for it. What you should do is be realistic with your time and set aside time that's quite reasonable. That should be like an hour or even 40 minutes in a day. And if you actually get work done during this time, it provides some sort of boost to your mood and your productivity. And that way the next day you actually feel like working again. The worst thing you can do is say today, I have 3 hours to work on this task. But then work finishes 2 hours later, there's traffic getting back home and you end up not doing any of it and you become angry at yourself. Be realistic with your time. Try and account for unforeseen circumstances. That could mean add an extra 40 minutes or 15 minutes to your commute just so that you actually know how much time you have to actually work. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you found that useful. Like the video, share the video, and I'll see you in the next one.